happens right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! It's time! It's time for your main event! Let's bring our competitors to the ring.
From a man who's on a mission to be the most hated man in WrestleForce history to an undisputed champion who was on a mission to correct the wrongs, to change himself. James Farrell, our undisputed champion here at WrestleForce, since winning the championships from Voodoo at the Brentwood Theatre, although initially had rather an attitude, very mean to, at the time, his kit carrier, his assistant Danny Hayes. He's been on a mission to correct that, and he's done a heck of a job of it. The last couple of months he's been a very honourable champion, a great fighting champion with great title defences against Jay Joshua, against Voodoo, against Kieran Lacey, and in fact against Mark Trew. Yes indeed, this is not their first rodeo. Mark Trew came very close at the Lopping Hall in Loughton. Of course, I must say again that this is now Mark's hometown. This is the building Mark won the Tag Team Championship from last year. Send it over to Gio for the in-ring introductions.
Your main event tonight is a singles match scheduled for one fall. And it is for the WrestleForce Undisputed Championship! Introducing first, to my right, the challenger from Romford. He is the undeniable, the unbreakable Mark Trew! Introducing his opponent, standing to my left, he is the reigning, defending WrestleForce Undisputed Champion, James Farrell!
Look at James Farrell's cohesion. Look at how calm and cool he is. He's not taking the bait. He's not being goaded in to an attack. He's not losing his temper. Ring the bell. The moment the bell rings, look at the professionalism, the precision. Now he turns up the intensity. Look at that discipline that James Farrell has.
It's a big fight feel here in Romford. It's main event time. Mark Trew, a man who became the #1 contender for the Undisputed Championship by beating none other than you, sitting right beside me, Ollie Peace, in Dagenham. He is now getting his one-on-one title shot. And Mark Trew, he's looking frustrated early on.
Do you know what? I'm absolutely disgusted to be from this trap of a place.
We have not been going...
All you disgusting Romforders and all you other mugs. You can follow me wherever you want to follow. I know you've got to here to see me become the new WrestleForce Undisputed Champion.
I'm not too sure at the way you've behaved, Mark.
No! Get off on this boy in his undies!
Can we please get on with it?
So, I'm here to tell you the most disgusting piece of rubbish WrestleForce has ever seen. The natural athlete, all you are is on stuff. That's why you didn't get into the Olympics, bro. So you talk too much.
Oh!
Even when the Undisputed Championship is on the line, Mark Trew can't help himself. And that's going to cost him dearly. As you can see, James Farrell is already on top of him and taking advantage. If Mark Trew could just control his temper, control his ego for 5 minutes, maybe he wouldn't find himself at such a disadvantage so early on.
James Farrell knows exactly what he's gotten himself into with Mark. He wasn't goaded in at the start. He wasn't fazed by any of that talk. He calmly just gave it back. A statement, very true. Mark talks too much. But yeah, you can't take your eye off Mark, not even for a second. What a back suplex! Oh no! He opted to put him there instead. Oh my head days!
And the thing with Mark Trew, it's such a shame to see him act this way, because when I first met Mark Trew, when I first knew him as a competitor, he was a young, up-and-coming trainee at the WrestleForce school, and he couldn't have been nicer. He was coming up through the ranks, he had the world ahead of him, and he chooses to go down this horrible, horrible path. And the thing is that he's a terrific professional wrestler. If he just kept his head down, success would surely come to him. But if he continues to go down this treacherous path, no good is going to come of this. Come on, Mark, you don't need to be like this. You're a fantastic wrestler. You could beat anyone on the roster any day of the week. Why do you have to do this? Why do you have to act like this? And this is why James Farrell is on top, and this is why James Farrell is probably going to, as he's always done, successfully retain his Undisputed Championship. Having said that, Mark Trew looking for that signature package bomb early, ducks behind, and it's a back suplex. Oh, and here comes that ground and pound. Mark Trew 2-0 in MMA fights. So if you find yourself on the receiving end of a ground and pound from Mark Trew, you know it's gonna hurt.
I wonder if James's nose has been broken again! And he just got drop kicked. His throat just ricocheted off the rope.
Even while pinning his opponent, Mark Trew finding time to trash talk his hometown. That is how far he has fallen. That is how dark the path he's going down is. He's in his hometown. This could be a jubilant celebration, but it isn't, because he decides to be just such a horrible, little, nasty little man.
Indeed, he's full of hate, he's full of anger, just standing on James Farrell's throat there. And indeed, last time at this venue, he won the Tag Team Championship with his close friend at the time, Kieran Lacey. Such a positive feeling that was, such a positive person he was, and such a positive tag team that was. And all that now we find ourselves here. Mark Trew, so full of hate and anger, almost just fell victim to a vaulting sunset flip. What a lariat!
James Farrell, an Olympic pedigree athlete. Look at the height he gets on that leg drop.
participated in the high jumps, as you can tell from that leg drop.
Such an explosive athlete, but probably, well, I'm not saying probably, definitely the most explosive athlete on the WrestleForce roster, and he incorporates that into his wrestling style. But Mark Trew, you can be as explosive as you want, but you haven't got an answer for a thumb to the eye, because Mark Trew likes to play dirty.
Mark Trew wouldn't have flown in his Ultra MMA fights, as you mentioned, with his 2-0 in. But in professional wrestling, a referee doesn't like to throw a match out, especially not a main event match of this importance.
Absolutely, and that's a very important distinction to make, because in a main event match such as this, when the stakes are so high, Martin Raymondson is probably going to show some leniency here, because we don't want to see this match end in a disqualification or a count out. That is the last thing we want. We want to see a conclusive finish to this match. We want to see a clean end. We want to see who's going to be the better man. Is it going to be James Farrell retaining, or are we going to see Mark Trew crowned the new champion in his hometown, as much as he says he hates it? This crowd in Romford firmly behind James Farrell, as am I. I personally would like to see James Farrell once again retain his championship. Maybe it'll teach Mark Trew a lesson in humility.
You know, you see a Russian leg sweep, but then you see a Russian leg sweep done by James Farrell. You see a stalling suplex, then you see a stalling suplex done by James Farrell. The guy, as you mentioned, is such a pedigree athlete.
Look at the poise, the precision, the impact. James Farrell is a phenomenal talent.
But he's in there with someone who, although we've mentioned full of hate, full of anger, is very much motivated. As you said, he seems to be on a mission to be the most hated man in WrestleForce. You know what I think people would really hate is if he beat James Farrell for the Undisputed Championship tonight, and he might just do that with offense like that. A nice back elbow off the middle rope, countering that catapult. The thing is, though, you better stay on top of James Farrell and not give him any breathing space. Well, literally, as I say that, James Farrell won't be able to breathe with a shin across his throat. But you know, that is questionable, not legal, but it is effective. And if I was the victim of a Russian leg sweep and a stalling suplex as Mark was, I might be inclined to do whatever it took to keep James Farrell down.
And the thing is, as much as I disagree with the way Mark Trew wrestles and the tactics he employs, you can't deny they are effective.
They are, in fact, yes, he's won many matches.
He's won so many matches, including a #1 contendership match, that he finds himself in the main event facing the Undisputed Champion for the Undisputed Championship. I mean, it's a mean streak. It's definitely mean, but it is effective. He's fought his way to the top of the card. He's fought his way to the front of the line. He's fought his way to a championship match, and James Farrell is fading fast.
That's a vicious choke, a vicious sleeper, and Mark as well peppered it with some vicious elbows right to the face. Look at James Farrell though.
James Farrell will not die as Mark Trew tightens that blood choke. And now shades of a Bret Hart Roddy Piper, but Mark Trew kicks out.
What an up and over, what an O-drag.
And Mark Trew showing no signs of slowing down, no signs of exhaustion, and both men had the same idea and they meet in the middle. They clothesline each other, both men are down.
James Farrell, for that matter, showing no signs of exhaustion. I thought after that choke he was in, he would be done for, but look at the fight he just pulled there. I don't know who got the worst of that double clothesline. Oh, look at this!
James Farrell is unstoppable. James Farrell is on fire. Nips up to his feet and delivers a Polish hammer and a clothesline. James Farrell firmly in control here. Trew holds on. Holds on a second time. Oh! Tried to send James Farrell to the floor, but he held on to the apron.
Thank goodness he did. What a slide under. He took Mark's feet out from under him with that.
Such precision. James Farrell, he is fantastic.
Could it be his...
Oh my God! Spiking Mark Trew's head into the hardest part of the ring. I think Mark Trew could be out. That move devastating enough on its own, but to drive his head into where the steel beam meets the wood, I can't believe Mark Trew's back to his feet.
You know what?
Oh my God! Referee Martin Raymondson has been taken out. Mark Trew pulled him into the path of a shotgun dropkick and he's out. And wait a minute! Mark Trew has grabbed one of the championship belts. Referee Martin Raymondson can't see this. He's knocked out cold. No! James Farrell ducks.
Olympic!
And a huge Olympic slam!
Oh, but there's no ref. This will be over. This should be over.
This match should be over. James Farrell should have retained his championship. This is a farce.
Oh, for heaven's sake, we don't have another referee on hand. Martin's our only referee this evening.
Come on, Martin, get up. Mark Trew.
He's got the belt again.
Not again.
This time James Farrell doesn't seem wise to it. He's got his back to it.
No! No, not this way. Not this way. Kick out, James. He does. At 2.9. Cheaters never prosper, Mark Trew.
Those belts are made out of solid metal. There's a reason people often don't kick out after sustaining a shot from them, but James Farrell did.
James Farrell is superhuman. James Farrell is something else. He kicks out, he gets back up, he has the fighting spirit, the heart and soul of a champion. Mark Trew, you're going to have to do more than that to keep him down.
Oh! Don't give him any airspace.
And he's got that sharpshooter locked in, and he drags him to the center. Fantastic positioning. Could we see James Farrell retain this title via submission? Mark Trew is trying to crawl closer to the ropes, but James Farrell feels it, and he readjusts, and he pulls him further away.
Mark's got nowhere to go. James Farrell's sitting a little further back now. Oh, is he?
Oh, and he finds a way to the ropes. This is an incredible main event here in Romford on WrestleForce TV. James Farrell, the defending champion, taking on the #1 contender, the despised Mark Trew, who is trying every trick in the book and nothing is working. And now we see James Farrell feeding off that crowd. What's he going to look for next?
Mark couldn't beat James with a belt shot. James couldn't tap Mark out with a sharpshooter. And Martin's awake now. Martin's conscious, he's with us. Oh my goodness, Mark backflipping off the momentum from that lariat.
I think he just snapped his hamstring. And the double knees to the back of the head. Oh my God! James Farrell is out. Mark Trew barely able to pull him into the cover.
He got the rope! He didn't get his shoulder up, but he grabbed the rope. I thought that was it.
It was out of our vision, so I thought we just saw a new champion crowned, but Martin Raymondson in perfect position to see the rope break. Oh my God, my heart is racing. I am sweating. This is an incredible main event here at WrestleForce. And this crowd in Romford know it. Mark Trew has thrown everything but the kitchen sink at James Farrell, and nothing's working. He won't stay down. He won't die. Mark Trew now climbs to the top rope. You can see the exhaustion now. I said earlier he didn't look exhausted, but I think mentally now, as well as physically, he can't. And we saw this before. We've seen this before. The Super Olympic Slam. He's defeated Mark Trew with this before, but he's unable to capitalize and make the cover. Both men exhausted. Martin Raymondon's administering the count. Could we see this end in a draw?
I can't even hear what count is Martin at. I can't even hear him, it's so loud in here.
Oh, and Mark Trew, you have to give him credit, very smartly rolling to the outside to avoid the pin and create some distance between him and James Farrell and get some breathing room, but James Farrell not going to let that happen. He stays on top of him, he chases him to the outside, rolls him back in. James Farrell, he just wants this match over with at this point. He just wants to put Mark Trew away, as he has done before. Mark Trew
pulling out the ring paid off right there. If it had not been for that, I mean, don't forget, Mark took a Super Olympic Slam, an Olympic Slam off the top rope.
That wasn't a kick out. He rolled that shoulder up. He's exhausted at this point. I think one or two more big moves and that's going to be the end of this match. Both these men are sweating profusely. They're exhausted. And what is James Farrell doing here? No, come on, James, no.
This is not what James does these days. He's turned a leaf, I thought.
James, you've come so far. Don't go back to your old ways. Don't let Mark Trew corrupt your mind. Not this way. This isn't you. You know this isn't you. Come on, fight your demons, James. Come on.
God, James looks a mess. Look how conflicted he looks. It looks like this is eating him alive. But on the other hand, what else do you have to do? He's decided against it. He's decided against it.
Good, James. That's not you. This is the real you. And oh no!
The springboard he missed, and he landed right on his knee.
He's tweaked that already into
knees again.
A second double knees to the back of the head of James Farrell. What is this? What is this?
Frog splash, and he's got him in the center of the. He's not done. What's he doing now?
He's going for that move that he's won so many matches with.
Not on a man the size of James.
No way. No way. No. No. I can't believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner and new. Please show your respect and admiration for your former undisputed WrestleForce champion, a man who brought dignity to that belt. Please, let's hear it for James Farrell.
Well, indeed. Once again, the shockers laying in. But amidst the situation, let's remember that James Farrell was a fine fighting champion. Well, thank you for joining us here at WrestleForce TV. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell for notifications. And I don't think WrestleForce will ever be the same again, but thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.